Shalom, it's Izzy, your Hebrew teacher here, and this is Hebrew Chapters with Holy Language Institute. Read with me through Genesis chapter 14 in Hebrew. This is the story of Abram and his battle with the kings from the east to rescue his nephew, beginning in Genesis chapter 14, verse 1. Vayahi. Now, Yahi means, and it will be, essentially. It means it will be, it will happen, it will become. Va, or and, on the front, flips the tense, so to speak, making it, instead of future, past tense. So vayahi means, essentially, and it happened, and it was. Be yamei. A yom is a day. Yamei, days of. Be yamei, in the days of. Am Rafel, that's a name. Melech, now the verb malach means to reign as king. Therefore, Melech is a king. Melech Shinal, so the king of Shinar, which was an old Hebrew name for Babylon. Al Yoch, another name. Melech, king of Elisal. Kedal LaOmer, another name. Melech Elam. V'tidal, another name. Melech Goyim. Sorry, I think I said Melech a couple times there without translating it as king. Hopefully you figured that out. Anyway. Asu. The verb asa means to act, do, or make. Here we have asu. They made. Milchama. The verb here is lacham, and it means to wage war, to do battle, to fight. So a milchama is a war or a battle or a fight. It's interesting actually because the root of this word, lacham, also means to eat bread. Bread in Hebrew is lechem. There are several theories about what the correlation may be between bread and war. What do you think they could be? So they waged war at, indicating who they waged war with, Bera, that's a name, Melech, king of Sodom, or Sodom, as we would say in English. Ve'et, indicating who else they waged war with, Bilsha, another name, Melech, king of Amorah. In English we say Gomorrah. How did Ain in Hebrew, or A, turn into G in Gomorrah in English? Well, back in the day, in very old Hebrew pronunciation, it's theorized that the Ain was gutturalized so that it sounded like a gutturalized G sound. But that's not how it's pronounced anymore. Shinav, another name, Melech, king of Admah. Veshem Evel, another name, Melech, king of Tzvoim. Umelech, and the king of Bela. He, that is to say it, Tzoal. Had a second name, Tzoal. Kol, all, Ele, these, Chavru. Verb here is chaval, and it's translated in different places in the scriptures, depending on context, as join, attach, or be touching, or to be allied or form an alliance. It can have the sense of being a partner or friend also. You may be familiar with the Hebrew word chaver, which essentially means friend or sometimes partner. Used more, not so much in the Hebrew of the Tanakh, but in later Hebrew. So it says, these chavru, so they gathered as allies, we could say. El, to emek, the verb here is amak, and it means essentially to be deep or to go deep. And emek, geographically speaking, is a valley. Ha-sidim. Now this is a place name, but it does have a meaning. Seed in Hebrew, spelled with the yod in the middle, is lime. Seed as a verb means to plaster. Well, why? Because you plaster, generally speaking, with lime. So here we have Emek Hasidim. It probably has the sense of the lime valley. Hu, it, Yam, is the sea or lake. Hamelach, of, what is melach? Salt. Shtem, that's two. Shtaim is two. Here we have shtem in construct. Two and esrei. How many is esrei? 10. So 2 and 10, 12. Shtem esrei. Shana, literally year. We would say years. Avdu, verb avad, to work for or serve. Avdu, they served. Et kedal laomer. Please don't name your kid that. Ushlosh, and 3 esrei 10. How many is 3 and 10? 13. Shana, years, or year literally. Maradu. This verb here, marad, means to rebel. Uve alba esrei. How many is that? Alba, 4, esrei 10. 14 shana years. Ba came chadal laomer v'ha melachim, and the melechs, the kings, asher hu ito, were with him. Vayaku, verb is naka, to strike or hit. So they struck. Et Raphaim, it's a people group. Ba'ashtarot kalnaim. That's a place, but it actually does have a meaning in Hebrew. You're probably familiar with the idols, Ashtaroth idols, and then kalnaim, a keren, is a horn. Aim in Hebrew is the dual form, two of something. So kalnaim is two horns. Ve'et, indicating who else they nakad, struck. Ha zuzim, another people group. Beham, at that place. Ve'et, indicating who else they struck. Ha emim, another people group that could be related to the Hebrew word for terror. Beshaveh, Kiryataim. This is actually another Hebrew place name. Shaveh is like on the level. And then Kiryah is a city. Kiryataim, there's the dual form again, Aim. Remember? Kalnaim, 2 kerans, 2 horns. Kiryataim, 2 kiryas, 2 cities. So, I mean, these are just geographical place names, but it's interesting how they actually have meanings in Hebrew. Thought I would take that little opportunity to spice up your Hebrew vocabulary. Ve'et, ha-hori, so they also struck, I think in English they say the Horites. Now this is interesting because it probably has to do with cave dwellers. Hole can be like a hole or a cave. Interestingly enough, also, hole in Hebrew sounds an awful lot like hole, like a cave or hole in English. Very closely related. Behararam. A har is a mountain or hill. Notice how hill and har sound similar in English and Hebrew, respectively. So struck them in their hills or mountains. Seir. That's a country that was later came to be the place where the Edomites dwelled, the descendants of Edom. Ad, until El. That's an oak. This is a place name, but an El is an oak. Paran. Asher, where all was on Hamidbar. The Midbar is the wilderness. Vayashuvu, and they shuved, they returned. Interesting, that's also the word for repentance, but obviously that wasn't the case of them repenting here. But it gives you a better sense of repentance in Hebrew. Vayavo'u, and they bowed, they came. El, to Ein Mishpat, another place which does have a meaning. An Ein in Hebrew is a well, and then it's also your eye, but here it's a well, and then Mishpat is justice. He, that is to say it, Kadesh. So, and that also known as Kadesh. Vayaku, and they nakad, they struck. Et kol, all. Sdei, Sadeh is a field. Sdei here can be the fields or the countryside of Ha Amaleki.
Thanks for watching this trailer. To get this whole talk in audio or video format, go to holylanguage.com and subscribe. I'll see you there.